poem I wrote. It's called Sometimes in Life. This one is written in the how I usually write my poems, so line by line by line. But there's going to be one little detail I'm going to point out in this that you're going to carry forward to the rest of the poems that I do write. Like I said, these are the simpler ones. They don't take us. They're very straightforward. The meaning is very apparent. So when you go forward to the poems that are a lot more metaphorical or a lot more reference based, you don't have to, or a lot less reference based, you don't have to think as much because you'll understand it. One other little clue here is that it's the sentiment that comes across in a poem that you're supposed to pay attention to first, not just the words alone. You pay attention to the words and the lyrical aspect of it afterwards. If you feel offended, you pay attention to that. If you feel hurt, you pay attention to that. If you feel passion, you pay attention to that. And that's the thing that you're supposed to pay attention to as you go through, not the necessarily how the words are being put together. That's why, like I said, tempo and all that usually does play a big role in how everything is put together. Because if you read it at the right tempo, your initial response will be an emotional response, not a response to how the words are put together. But now I'm going to show you, after you get that emotional response, how to break down the words and get the deeper meaning behind them. But here we go. Sometimes in life. Sometimes in life. So let's get this one done here. There are times in life when you say you love. There are times in life when you say you like. There are times when you say, all right, let's do this. Me, mister, you miss me more than you like to say. That was a long encounter. Okay. Explanation needed. Hold on. I'm a little distracted. My little baby's teeth, Ed, begging to be feed, Ed. Back to the story. Sometimes in life, you become a husband and you get a wife. And you say there's got to be more, maybe not, unless you're right. And you can sit in the union because of necessity or obligation, or you can leave because of spite. Hush, little baby. All right, sometimes in life. We make mistakes, we're wrong, accidents happen, and sometimes in life it's all right to be the bad guy, get in a fight, defend what you love and cherish, because even in darkness, your future is bright. Don't worry, baby, when you grow up, you're gonna say, these grown-ups, they like, look at life and don't get it right. Do things because they're selfish and out of spite. And little one, this is a love story without boundaries or traditions. Because we have MSN, MySpace, Facebook. We even have Skype. And if we make it out, we're soldiers, we're strong. Not luck, because we're all right. This was a letter to my unborn child about my future life and what it might be like sometimes in life. We're just like, mediocre, average, just all right. And sometimes we dream and we get what we like, all those future husbands and future wives. You feeling me, right? It could be like this, but sometimes in life. The idea now is that there's a couple of things in here that I'm going to point out so that you get a better feel for what's going on here. When you start off, you go, the line that says, let's do this, me, mister, you miss me more than you like to say. Where it says, me, mister, you miss, if you look at that, that's the me, mister, and you, and me, miss, those are lines that go together. It's saying we're married. And essentially, that's what it means. Me, mister, you miss. But then if you read, you miss me more than you like to say, that line is also a distinct line more than it says. It says that the person is avoiding the idea that you're actually forming a union. So if you read that line together now, you see it's a lot different than what you first perceive it as. So it says, let's do this, me, mister, you miss. So they're together. But then you go, me, mister, you miss me more than you like to say. And the person is saying, I would love this to be a relationship, but you're avoiding that relationship in a sense by avoiding your actual emotions that you feel towards the relationship. So that's one other aspect of it that you have to look at in that sense. And one thing you're going to see, I'm going to put the written poem. I try to attach the written poem to the actual video here. And the line that says, and you say there's got to be more, maybe not. But there's a S in the brackets because in any kind of relationship, you have maybe nots. You have things that don't work out, But I was talking about one distinct thing in this specific aspect. So that's why I put knots in brackets, just in case you have a different maybe not than what I indicated in the poem. You can interpret your maybe not and just slide it in there as your meaning. As much as my words are indicating one specific contradiction in a relationship, you can insert your own contradiction, if that makes sense. So basically, although you get my interpretation of what maybe knots are in a relationship, you insert, you can basically take the words out and put in your own experiences and still understand what I'm trying to bring across. And that's why the poem is written the way it's written, so that all, as much as you look at it, you're still able to relate without my personal opinion engulfing what relationships are for everybody. I only gave you the framework, and you slide in what you need to slide in to make it make sense. And then the reference to the child now is, there's a time lapse. It's the future talking to the past, but it's the past writing about the future. So you have to realize when I slip from one aspect to the other. So there's times when I'm sitting down writing to the future, and there's times when I'm writing from the future to the past. So you have to look at where the perspective of the writer in reference to the time frame. So every time the baby's in my hand, that's the future. And every time I write something about my present situation, that's the past or the present. So, and that's where you, little things like that, little clues like that, is knowing the perspective, knowing what's being written, why it's being written, and where it's being written from, also help to make the poem make a little bit more sense.